Batman has had many games across the years, but Bruce Wayne, he's had a big fat zero. So this is the first time we really get to play in the life of a billionaire, even if it is during a time in his life where everything's falling apart. And with the Snyder Cut for Justice League just around the corner, I wanted to revisit a DC game that I've not played since it was released in 2016. But before we start, leave this video a like, and if you're new to the channel then click the subscribe button. When it comes to Telltale games, I've only played 2 of them, The Wolf Among Us and this one. I haven't played the Walking Dead one yet, and I really feel like I'm missing out because everyone talks really highly of it. But from what I can tell from these type of games, they give me a more cartoonish Heavy Rain vibe. A case of choose what to say, walk around and look at stuff, Quicktime Events, and then back to choosing what to say again. I don't have a problem with that, it works really well to be honest, so don't fix what ain't broken. However, I did find the Bruce Wayne segments the most boring, only because I just didn't care. I was more invested in the detective aspects when you play as Batman. There's sections where you enter a crime scene and you have to link certain clues together to make a coherent story. You can't just string random pieces of evidence together and expect to be able to move on, and I really like that.
The bullet that killed the cop is the same type that blew up the canister.
Something similar you can do as Batman is that you can survey an area full of enemies and choose the best course of action to take. And then after you finish planning, you have to try and execute it. The only problem I really have is with the Quicktime Events. I noticed quite a few times in a fight that things would happen before I could hit a button, leaving me to think if there's any consequences at all for missing a button prompt. Something else that I found a bit weird was that some of the conversation prompts come off a bit awkward sometimes. Like you think something would be said in jest, but instead it comes out with a lot more disdain with added words that weren't there before. Like this part for example, it says, "Enjoy the wine, it's expensive," which sounds like a jokey remark to say to your guest, but instead he says this.
Enjoy drinking my wine. It's worth more than most of you.
Why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation.
And don't pick the option to say nothing, because I've noticed that also ends awkwardly.
Actually, I'm here for Mr. Wayne.
Well, he certainly doesn't have any time either.
I will admit that the Bruce Wayne story does get more interesting as it progresses, since he has to deal with the repercussions of his father Thomas Wayne, who in this version wasn't one of the nicest guys. All that soon leads into the many introductions of the antagonists, those being Falcone, the Penguin, and another original villain with the word Arkham in their name. As well as those, the game also tries to juggle Two-Face and Catwoman. And with all those characters, you'd think that the story would feel cluttered, but strangely it doesn't. Each character has their own purpose, and they all fit into the story perfectly.
Gotham needs a hero. Someone to hunt down people like you.
So that makes me, what, a villain? Sounds fun.
Speaking of the story, something I forgot to mention is that the story relies on the decisions you make along the way. Not only the way you speak to people, but also your actions that create a bit of a butterfly effect for future events. Something that you may have thought to be inconsequential may come back to bite you in the ass later on. May that be the news outlet seeing you in a bad light, or a character completely turning on you.
Gotham's greatest son, Bruce Wayne, seen here in the company of gangsters, may be just as crooked as his parents.
Some decisions can be quite tense, especially when you see a timer going down at the bottom of the screen. You just feel really pressured into making the right choice, and most of the time there is no right or wrong answer, it just comes down to your own morals and preferences. But I'll admit that these moments did get me flustered. The only decision that I never thought twice about was when the game asked you if you want to play the mission as Bruce Wayne or as Batman. It's Batman, obviously. And if you're just wondering what you have to do to get the Platinum Trophy, then look no further than just finishing it. Just finish all 5 chapters and there you have it. Each chapter is about an hour long, so you're looking at about 5 hours to complete this game and get the Platinum Trophy. And it doesn't really matter if you play this for the Platinum Trophy or if you just play it for the story, because either way, I think you'll have a good time. I'll admit that the first episode was a bit boring, but the story definitely ramps itself up in the later episodes. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and make sure that you're subscribed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
A new face for Gotham.
Look at you. It's not half bad. I'm sorry, Bruce. The makeup person is here. Guess she needs to put on my face.
Yes, I get it, game. You're foreshadowing.